Hello, this is Encounters with Life. I'm Sean Abigail, your host. Before I jump into today's content, can I ask you to subscribe to this channel? Today I hit 200 subscribers and I am so excited. As you can tell, it's a small channel, it's growing, and I'd love for you to be part of it. Now to the content. So, two of my friends, pretty much at the same time, sent me a letter that was shared online and social media by someone named Anita Duffy, talking about Canada and Trump's tariffs and Trump and the World Economic Forum. And both of them asked me for my opinion. And interestingly enough, one of them is very pro-Trump. The other is very anti-Trump. And they both asked me for my opinion on this. I said, okay, I got to make a video about this. All right, let's jump into what Anita said. She talks about Trump's 51st state, a genius strategy to expose the WEF's control over Canada. For weeks, the media has been in an uproar over President Donald Trump's suggestion that Canada should become the 51st U.S. state. Predictably true to loyalists, and the mainstream press wasted no time in portraying Trump as a tyrant, claiming he is looking to annex Canada against his will. But step back and look deeper. Trump's comment wasn't just a random outburst, it was a strategic move designed to expose Canada's real problem, the creeping control of the World Economic Forum and globalist elites like Mark Carney and Justin Trudeau. Why Trump made the statement? Trump is no fool. If he had simply said Canada is under the control of the WEF and globalists, the media would have dismissed him as a conspiracy theorist. Canadians, already conditioned by state-funded media to distrust him, would have ignored the warning. Instead, by suggesting that Canada should become the 51st state, he forced Trudeau's government and the media into a corner. Suddenly, the same people who have been surrendering Canada's sovereignty to the European Union, China, and the WEF are now pretending to be outraged about the idea of Canada losing its independence. All right, first off, I'm not a big fan of the World Economic Forum, and I am a big fan of countries having national sovereignty. I do not like it when countries give up their national sovereignty. I do not like it when countries sign a bunch of feel-good treaties and then feel like they are bound by those forever. I'm not a big fan of that. I think that the WEF is trying to influence Canada, but even more significantly, it is the informal globalists who are pushing the agenda. The WEF is always behind the scenes. They're kind of like the whipping boy for the globalists, but the informal globalists are pushing the agenda. But is this a masterstroke by Donald Trump? And I don't think so. I'm going to explain a few reasons why. First of all, I don't think that Donald Trump cares about Canada that much. I don't think that he is doing something for our benefit. I think he's got other things that he is thinking about. He's got other things on his mind. He is trying to make America great again, MAGA. And that's the center of everything that he is doing right now. So I just don't think that he cares that much about Canada. Now, one of my friends from the United States pointed out, and perhaps validly, that Americans don't want a globalist country, if it's even still a country, don't want a globalist country on their border. And so this is his message to get us to stop following the globalist agenda. Well, maybe. That could be. I think, however, it is more likely, and I made a video about this a couple months ago, I think it's more likely a message to China to stop interfering in Canada, because if Americans kind of don't want globalists on their doorstep, they really, really, really do not want China on their doorstep. So it could be a message to China to stop interfering with Canadian sovereignty. But even more than that, I think the real reason why Trump is talking about annexing Canada, making it the 51st state, is that it keeps us off balance. He just throws off these one-liners, and Anita is correct. Trump is no fool. If you think that he's a fool, you are underestimating him, and he will get the better of you. So I don't think he's a fool, and I don't think that he wants the 51st state to keep the globalists out, but rather this is something that he just throws out there and makes the Canadians go crazy, and who knows, what we'll do when we're in that kind of state. So that is what I think about this letter. It's interesting. I thank Anita Duffy for sharing it. I do not subscribe to globalism. I do not subscribe to the WEF. I am a big believer in countries having national sovereignty. But what do you think? Please leave your comments, and I would love to read them. I've been reading lots of comments lately, and I appreciate all of them. Thank you very much. I'm Sean Abigail. That's Encounters with Life.